Hello everybody, how we doing? Welcome back to the channel. Please like, subscribe, fucking share, give me stink in the comments, or that kind of stuff, if that's your thing. Before I get into the day's topic, somebody's been kind of going back and forth with me. Lewis Casman, the proclaimed self-adopted son of John Gotti Sr., which I will get into in another video. I didn't even notice that he commented on some of my videos, calling me a slime bag and stuff like that. I don't want to address it here. I just want to let people know that I've noticed it today, and I will make some sort of content on it. But the reason that I wanted to make this video, right, this isn't really my thing, right? Getting into this YouTube beef shit, podcast wars, and all that, right? But my channel's basically a business now, right? It is. I need to look at it like a business. What's going to get views? What's going to get this? What's going to get that? So I'm learning how YouTube really works, even though I couldn't really give a fuck. And what I want to talk about is the animosity between two podcasters, one from Glasgow, where I'm from, and one from Liverpool. James English from Glasgow and Darren G from Liverpool. I don't know James English personally, from obviously being from Glasgow. Before anybody comments, do you know James English? No, I don't know him. I know people who do. I don't know Darren G, and I don't know anybody who does. I just want to put that out there. But I was kind of having a joke with Roscoe last night. He's like, "Yeah, you should make a video about that. That's going to blow up." And and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I'm not interested in that. My channel's not about that." But you know what? People don't watch the normal telly now. They're just streaming constantly. So, you know what? Fuck it. Pipe up. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be fair. I don't watch a lot of podcasts, right? I'm not meaning that, and like that kind of sounds surprising for somebody who has a YouTube channel, maybe, right? And what I mean by that is, I'm a reader. I do watch a lot of shit, right? But as I said before, like I'm a like fucking most likely on the spectrum. I watch things on repeat. Like there's like 3 tellies on in my house, and everyone's on a different channel on a loop, because it settles my brain. It keeps my brain from wandering into the dark rooms, if you get what I'm talking about. But everything that I watch is repeats for shit I know inside out. Documentaries, fucking rain sounds, whatever. But I thought, no what, fuck it, I'll make a video about it. I had watched some, so when I got out of prison in 2019, right, for finishing my 16 years, I didn't even know what a podcast was. People used to say to me all the time, "You should do podcasting, you're some speaker." And I'd be like, "What the fuck's a podcast?" Like, didn't really know. Because obviously when I went to jail in 2003, the technology was Nokia 3310s. That was the up-to-date tech. And then when I got out in 2010, not even halfway through it, I got out in non-pro license. It was Blackberries. Remember Blackberries, right? Obsolete technology now. Went back into another 8 year for my recall and came back out and saw this touchscreen fucking, like everything's enter your fingerprints, your face recognition, your big toe print, your dick print. Like, mate, I couldn't keep up with this, right? So nobody's watching the BBC and fucking Channel 3 and extra or us piss right now. Everybody's gone straight to YouTube, straight to TikTok, Facebook, Insta, whatever. So that's where the market is. That's where the views and everything else. But see, to be fair, integrity wins the race, right? You could sit and say to me, how can you talk about integrity when you've been running about the way you ran about years ago? But listen, most people have a code, whether it be widely accepted, socially accepted, or their own personal fucking psychopathic mindset. I have a code, and one thing I don't really believe in is like I don't make a lot of money off YouTube by any stretch. One thing I don't really believe in is like try to cash in or whatever on somebody's fucking drama. But I thought, no, what, fuck it, man. Just make a video about it. So I'm no well versed on this, right? So I have watched a couple of James English podcasts when I got out of prison, but it was only the Glasgow ones, right? There was a couple of IRA ones I watched, I know. Like Joe Doherty, he was actually held in the MCC Metropolitan Correctional Centre in Brooklyn or Manhattan with John Gotti Senior. So that was why I watched that one, obviously. We'll get into that later. But he's had a lot of, mate, who else has he got left to interview? He's interviewed every cunt, know what I mean? Don't agree with some of the guests he's had on, like Sammy the Bull, Johnny, like fucking Anthony Ruggiano and all that. But at the end of the day, he's just making a coin off a guess and all. At the end of the day, like, it's a business. That's his business. It's no my business, you know what I mean? I'm in no position to tell anybody who to bring on their channel, who to platform. I wouldn't do it. I would do it if they were willing to sit and argue with me for 2 hours. Just sit and slaughter fuck at each other. But that's just how I would handle it, do you know what I mean? I know everything they cunts are going to say before they say it, because as I've explained before, when I was a child, this was all I ever read about, was all that. I've grown out it now and I'm my own man, but I still know about it. But anyway, the first podcast I watched that he had was Paul Ferris. A boy I know got me to watch it, you should watch this, blah blah blah, right? But then Darren G, I didn't know really anything about him, because I don't really follow, let's see, a lot of crime stuff now. I've just moved away from it. It has to be kind of pathologically unique, and what I mean by that is, like, it has to be like what the 1% of the 1%. Like, that is so strange, that crime, pathologically, like, it's just out of this world. There can only be one person on this planet has done that crime. You get me? It's not a bank robbery, like 10 guys fighting outside the pub or pulling tools out. To me, that's everyday life in Glasgow. That's everyday life in Edinburgh. In the schemes, I mean, right? I don't mean to say this like it's nothing. I don't mean that, right? I really don't. But when I was a teenager, that life was nothing. It's what really what I said in Goodfellas, shooting people is no big deal. Well, when I was a teenager, using a knife was no big deal, and that is horrendous to say that now that I'm a 43-year-old father, right? Because as I've always said, and I'll keep saying it to the day I draw my last breath, if somebody done that to my son, if my son tried to do it to you, then that's just, he came off worse, aye. But if you done it for no reason and all that, then just pray the cops get to you before I do, right? But anyway, I'm not too up to speed with a lot of the Liverpool crime and all that. And as far as I'm led to aware, I think Darren G had served some prison time. Supposedly got out, turned his life around, not. But people have said to me before, how do you not ask him to come on your channel? But I'd watched him a couple of times, and he just looks, I don't mean his appearance to denigrate him, what I mean is his energy, his aura. He strikes me as somebody who you'd probably need to do a lot of editing, and I'm not an editor. I can edit text, I can't edit digital fucking like recordings and shit. I'm not there yet. But same with James English. Never really had any, like my first impression of him wasn't really, I just felt like he seemed like somebody who was a bit kind of egotistical, like kind of fancied himself, and I don't mean that to denigrate him either. It's just my opinion. It might be wrong, but end of the day, man, if you're trying to make a success of yourself and you're for Postal, Maryhill, fucking Timbuktu, then fair play. But my understanding was that they had already done a podcast on James English's channel like years ago, like a 3-part, and it was removed. And I don't know why it was removed. I think it might have been because they were arguing, whatever. But now I see the things like they're going back and forth, and James English has got one of his ex-girlfriends on the channel saying he's worse than Jeffrey Dahmer. Darren G is worse than Jeffrey Dahmer. Are you fucking serious, man? So you're telling, see, this is one thing I hate is, what's the word in, when you, there's a term for this. It's a bit like saying somebody hit me with a water balloon, but I said it felt like an atomic bomb. That's like what she's just compared him to. You're telling me that Darren G is comparable to a guy who was found with, he was convicted of, was it 18 murders, right? We all know the story, but I'll just get into it anyway. Found with severed heads in his freezer, genitalia, polished skulls that he'd bleached skulls, like human skulls. Like, so imagine somebody chopped my head off and stuck it in the freezer and then boiled all the flesh off it. Opened up people's innards, like unzipping a jacket. You try to tell me, I'll debate anybody on this, I don't know the guy, no try to defend him, but you try to tell me this guy's akin to Jeffrey Dahmer, I don't think so, mate. I really don't. But there was some claims like he'd attacked his mom and all that. Right, listen, and somebody else came on and says, imagine attacking your mom, right? I remember when I was in jail, so I never grew up with her mother, right? And then when I did meet her, I wished I fucking hadn't, right? She sold smack for the flat, kept us locked in the bedroom, used to beat us at the fucking, like, for turning the TV on, turning on the Super Nintendo. We get our cunts kicked in for that, right? So I wouldn't say that I didn't love her by any stretch. I didn't even hate her. I just felt, you're a waste of fucking spunk. You're a waste of DNA. And what was funny was, I remember when she died and I was in prison and the screws came in and said, oh, your mother's passed away, do you want to go to the funeral? I was like, no, I'm going to miss, what was on at the time? Wasn't it Sopranos, Sons of Anarchy or something, right? And some people might find that horrendous, but see, when I think about what she put me and my wee brother Tony through, my wee brother Tony's died, God rest him. She doesn't deserve to have children, right? And I'm not condoning him doing anything to his mum. I don't know the story, right? I'm just here making a reactionary bit of content on they two going back and forth. But what I can relate to is, like, I remember when I got out of jail in 2010, my mum was phoning me to go down to her house to shoot somebody that had tried to kick her door in. She had a 38 revolver, right? And I'm like, I remember one night she phoned us, right? So I was lying in bed with Ashley, Christopher's mum, right? And she sounded like the big man out chewing the fat, I swear down, right? And I just sat the phone on loudspeaker in between me and her, and I was just pissing myself laughing at the shit she was hitting at me. Total maniac. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, there's always a story behind whatever it is that's going on. It's the same with James English, like, there's some mad bird saying he punched her about and all that. I don't just go, here, you must have done that, because here, see, when I was out in license, you know what I get recalled for? Arguing with Ashley and her niece. And I get charged with domestic breach of the peace. There is two different charges for domestic in Scotland. There is domestic breach of the peace and there's domestic violence. I was charged with the domestic breach, and it was nothing to even do with Ashley. It was her niece who was bringing trouble to the door. She was arguing with people and all that, and cut a long story short, me and good pal of mine that's died ended up battering fuck out somebody in an alley who had been phoning up Ashley, threatening her when she was like 8 months pregnant. This was like the month before I was recalled back to prison. So I don't sit and go, you're done with domestic, you must have done that. I know what birds can be like, but the point is, like, there's always more to it than what you're seeing on the internet, what you're seeing on the papers, right? And I've learned that the hard way through the jail, whatever. But like, what I don't get is, like, if James English has been charged in a waiting trial to go to trial for fighting with his girlfriend or arguing with her or whatever it was, how the fuck can you go on YouTube and make a video about why to go a square go with somebody in a gym? Like, does that Do you not get pulled up for that? Correct. I'm asking the question. I'm no making any sort of kind of claim, because I know what it's like when you've got conditions, like you can't go on this street, you need to sign in with this post station, whatever it is. Maybe I'm just too long in the tooth for all that jail shit. I would have been like, I'm not fucking meeting him, man. Listen. Somebody calls me out on the internet, I'm getting hoddy through back channels, mate. I'm not making videos going, you better meet me and I'll put 200 quid down and all that shit. I'm not doing that, bro. I'm doing it on the sneak. We'll meet on the sneak, mate, so that whatever. I don't mean that like I'm going to fucking rock up with a shorty or whatever. I just mean sort out diplomacy first. And if diplomacy breaks down, then war. That's how it works. But apparently James had said they'd put, was it £250,000 down, 200 grand, whatever it was, to fight him. No, not gonna lie. I would let you tie me a chair and punch my cunt in for fucking £250,000, mate. So I'm not even like that was a kind of joke, right? But I found that funny, mate. I know it was getting donated to charity and all that, but like that was a massive. That would have been like too good to refuse. I don't know what they were. I don't know if they were just going to go the boxing or it was just anything goes. No pun intended. But I'm not about that boxing shite. Like I don't mean shite. Sorry to put I don't want to sound like I'm disrespecting it. What I mean is boxing's not my thing, mate. I'm very like a grounder and pounder, not I mean, or a fucking joker or whatever. Whatever. It would have been interesting to see how it panned out. Do you know what? And it's what I said the other night on my live. For two guys that supposedly hate each other, I'm no doubting the animosity, right? What I'm trying to say is, see when you fucking have that kind of animosity to somebody, or you just want to fucking throttle somebody, man, and you go for a jog, you go for an hour on the bag, you go to jiu-jitsu and swing about, get swung about, whatever. See when you come out, you feel like you've just exercised your demons. And then somebody will go, here, do you want to go and see that, Darren? Do you want to go and see that, James? And you'll be like, nah, no what, fuck that. Because you've just got it right out you, mate. So do you know what? I think see if they two had a mate, I think they'd have probably a shoot cons after it. Just batter fuck out each other, mate, until one of these runs out of petrol. That's just me speaking from my experience. That's how I would have hung with it. I wouldn't be like on here doing it and all that, but that's them. But to be fair, I think Darren, like when I watched some of the videos of him, he did a wee bit of research for us. He looks like he's on medication or something. He looks a wee bit glazed eyes. I don't know if he's been eating donuts or whatever, but I'm not going to knock him for it, mate. I like a wee couple of tins myself at the weekend or fucking a wee doobie, whatever, but I don't know, mate. Just something a bit fusty about it. But see all the kind of name calling, and I don't know, it might even be a big ploy for content. I don't know. I don't think it is, but no, when you're getting expert zone and all that, to fucking say how you punch your mom about and all that shit. But and to be fair, if somebody from Liverpool was calling me out, I'm not going to Liverpool to fight you. We're meeting in a neutral city. I'm not meeting you on your home turf. The first rule of the art of war is do not meet the enemy on his home ground. That is self-explanatory, bro. It's like you doing that. Won't meet me in my own scheme. Why would I do that? Do you know what I mean? That's just absolute stupidity to me. I think they should have met in neutral ground, mate. No Glasgow, no Liverpool. Meet somewhere else, mate. But what the fuck do I know? Not I mean, I'm sitting in a fucking filing cabinet in Cambodia, chasing lizards about. Can't sleeping under the desk. But aye, mate. Doing well if you've got 250 grand to put to a charity, man. Say that, but fuck's sake. But see all the kind of it's YouTube now, innit, man? It's like everybody's in for a penny, in for a pound. Let's more fucking I don't know, mate. I heard enough of that shouting at the windies in the jail, mate. You hate them on, I'm smashing you, I saw you fucking mow your daft, you know. I'm just like it is funny sometimes, but see, watching that, there was nothing really funny about it. But fuck it, man. I just thought, you know what? I've not done a wee video. I was actually going to come on to another video today about that wee country. What was his name? The wee guy, transgender wee guy, he's got to shoot up his school and all that. Nah, mate. See what that education's done to people's minds. But you know what? That's a story for another day. I'm probably got to go live tonight as well, and just we'll shoot the shit, whatever. If people want to bounce on, happy to go into whatever. So please comment, like, fucking dislike, blah blah blah. You know the drill. TinPailTV over now.